online video games here. We're doing an unboxing of the drawer, part 3. These are my video game cases, and I just show the cover art and I just give my quick opinion about these games. Here's Spider-Man 3, I think it came out in 2007, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe possibly even 2006. It was released with when the movie came out, or slightly before. It would be a decent game for $5, but it's nothing spectacular, just another generic movie game, but you can explore New York City, or what is a reincarnation of New York City, which does not look like Manhattan at all, but I suppose is better than absolutely nothing. This game is Earth Defense Force 2017. It's unbelievable. It's supposed to be one of the rare games. You kill giant ants, giant spiders, and you have unlimited ammo. Your only weakness is you get overrun, outnumbered, and you have to reload. And it is very challenging, but the controls are excellent, and the concept is just excellent. Everything in the environment is realistic. The cities are futuristic, and the buildings can easily explode, just like the natural physics of the world. I mean, if a explosion happened, it's realistic to assume that the building would collapse. And in some games they don't collapse, which makes those games unrealistic. Where you could shoot let's just say a rocket launcher at a wall in Halo and nothing will happen, but in this game if a rocket launcher hits a building, it will collapse. So the physics, the engine, and the physics in this game portray a realistic perspective of the world. So, I mean, this game could be believable if giant ants and giant spiders and all those aliens that are portrayed in this game truly did exist, and if humans had superior armor and somehow had weapons that allow them to regenerate an unlimited supply of ammo. So it's unrealistic, but at least it tries to portray a realistic element in terms of physics. This is Battlefield Bad Company. I guess this game was new for nearly 65. Remember, I instantly got killed by the snipers. This game was very generic, nothing revolutionary, not worth $65. Maybe if you can get it today for $5 on top of a premium where you buy, top of a promotion, I'm sorry, where you buy one and you get one free, maybe then it's worthwhile. Here's Saints Row. Saints Row was truly an unbelievable game. This was revolutionary. This was the second game I got for the Xbox 360 after Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2, and the reason why I kept waiting was because I didn't think any games were worthwhile for $65. And back then I was playing original Xbox games even when I got my Xbox 360. I didn't even get a game with it when it was released. I thought the launch titles were not worthwhile. And eventually I wound up getting it years later. This was about a year ago. So I think like at least 5 or 6 years or half a decade after the console was released. I think it was released in 2004. So it was a year ago, then probably 7 years after the console was released. I wound up getting one of the launch titles. I think it was Dead or Alive 4. But that isn't worth 65. This was worth 65 at the time. They had amazing game modes. Unlike Grand Theft Auto, this game, in my opinion, had a much better story mode, had much better controls, had a much better combat system, and had truly innovative, unique online modes which I've never seen before, such as Protect the Pimp and the Blinked Out Ryan mode, where you gotta protect the car and upgrade it, and then you gotta protect the pimp. As the pimp dies, it's game over. And the pimp could one shot with his slap, but he couldn't use any guns. It was a very unique concept at the time. And Saints Row 2 unfortunately was a huge disappointment, but the popularity of Saints Row started with Saints Row 1. I wasn't sure what to expect of Saints Row 3. I watched some videos about it, but I haven't played it, so I can't give a fair perspective. This is a game called Crackdown. I have Crackdown 2 as well. You play as essentially an FBI agent or police agent, and you have to stop criminals. It's supposed to be in a futuristic city is an okay game. It's a huge open world map. This would have been revolutionary if it was made 20 years ago, but it was released fairly recently. When I mean fairly recently, I mean within the past decade. But the reason why this game was worth getting at the time was because it had the Halo 3 beta package with the game, and the Halo 3 beta was just unbelievable and a worthwhile experience. This game was truly a bang for your buck at the time. For $65 you got 3 games. I look at them more like 2. I mean, you get Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Half-Life 2 Episode 2, which is more like one game because it's part of the Half-Life 2 series. It was like a port on TF2, and this game is worth buying just for Team Fortress 2. It's not as good as the one on the PC, and this is vanilla TF2, but if you don't have a gaming computer that can handle Team Fortress 2 on the PC, then you're better off just experience Team Fortress 2 on the Xbox at a fixed frame rate, because it's better to experience a game and in this inferior mode than not experience it at all, at least in my opinion. Team Fortress 2, you have 9 different classes. They all have different perks, and you got to defend territories, capture the intelligence, which is like capture the flag mode, and it becomes a very offensive, defensive game that is very strategic, and your team has to work together, and if you guys don't work together, you probably wind up losing. For example, your medics should be on your heavies, and your engineers should be guarding the defensive points. If everybody is dispersed and not coordinating well, you probably lose. So it has a team-based element involved, where classes are dependent on their classes to thrive and strive in their role. This is Assassin's Creed. Again, this game was revolutionary at the time. It had a huge open world, and it took a risk by being a game that's supposed to have a persona of being in the Renaissance, and it says master the art of the kill, which is essentially what you did. You were an assassin, and you were supposed to get kills by being sneaky, and you could easily take on 5 guys at a time. I think that they did an excellent job in it because they portrayed the world so well, and the controls were decent enough to uphold the mechanics of this game. Overlord was a very exciting game. You could control huge armies, and you had all different minions similar to Pikmin. More like a art version of Pikmin, even though this game's rated T14, but you could also use magic as an overlord. Your console control is not the best to control the overlord and your minions, but it is better than nothing. So this guy looks similar to Saruman, more like a watered down version of him, not as epic looking, but the concept is just very entertaining. Why? I guess you could control a giant army, which is not seen a lot for a game that takes place in third person. I mean, the other game that I could think of that where you control an army for a game that takes place in third person is Pikmin. But a lot of the RTS games are played from a bird's eye view. This game is Fantasy Star Universe. I used to pay a subscription fee for that. I play as this robot. You get your own house. I think this was my first, my first true real MMO. And I think in this game you actually had to aim, so there was a skill element involved, like the modern day MMORPGs. It was decent at the time, but if you have a computer, I recommend finding a free-to-play game. I mean, this game may be free-to-play. I'm not 100% sure. I think it came out as an expansion pack. This game is probably rare to find. It's like a Star Wars original trilogy. I think they have a disc that has all 6 Star Wars games in it. This was okay, it was just another Lego game. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the final part. And I'm signing out.